Hello everyone and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name is Mark and today I have episode 7 of Booster Pack Friday. Last week we managed to pull one of my favourite cards from the set in Panharmonicon, so let's hope today we get to pull something equally as great. My girlfriend already opened a foil torrential Gearhulk, Aetherworks Marvel and a Lotus Petal Masterpiece from this pre-release kit, so hopefully she's left something good for us in this pack. Okay, so first up we've got Ardara Express. Really do like this card. For 5 you get an 8/6 with Menace that costs 4 to crew. Fantastic card in Limited. Definitely would be a high pick for me. Next we've got Thriving Turtle. So when it enters the battlefield you get 2 energy counters. And whenever it attacks you can pay 2 to put a +1/+1 counter on it, making it a 1/4. Pretty decent blocker, and it's great for just getting 2 energy for 1. Next we've got Fortuitous Find. So for 3 you get to return a target artifact card from the graveyard to your hand and return a target creature card from the graveyard to your hand. If you have both it's even better. If you have one it's not so bad. Next up we've got Propeller Pioneer. So for 4 you get a flying 2/1 with Fabricate. Again, it's a pretty decent card. You get the flexibility of having either putting a 1/1 servo out or making it a 3/2 flyer. A little bit expensive but it does the job. Next up we've got Consulate Skygate. So for 2 you get a 0/4 defender with reach. The benefit for this is that it can block the Smuggler's Copter, which is quite handy, especially in Limited. Next we have Failed Inspection. So for 4 we get to counter target spell, draw a card and then discard a card. Not too bad. I mean the counter spell's great. Being able to draw a card is fantastic, but depending on how many cards you've got left in your hand, discarding it's not necessarily going to be that helpful. But in Limited, it means you may be able to get your bomb out quicker. Next up, we've got Welding Sparks. So for 3, we get to deal X damage to target creature. X is 3 plus the number of artifacts you control. Very good card and piece of removal. I would happily have this as a high pick. Next we have Takedown. So either it deals 4 damage to a creature with flying or it deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. For 1, it's pretty decent. Sorcery speed's not great, but if you have a load of Thopters on the other side of the table, you get rid of all of those, or it's a killer for Smuggler's Copter. Or Skyskiff, for example. So here we've got, for 2 cost, a 2/3 flying, which only costs 1 to crew, which is a great card. I absolutely love this, especially in Limited, because by the time in turn 3 they might not actually have anything that can block this, so you can swing in for damage. And it only gets a 1/1 needs to be crewing it, which could be a servo, which is fantastic. Next we have Terror of the Fairgrounds. So for 4 you get a vanilla 5/2. Definitely wouldn't be a high pick here for sure. It's not that great. First uncommon we've got Whirler Virtuoso. For 1 a blue and a red, you enter the battlefield, you get 3 energy, and you can pay that 3 energy to create a 1/1 Thopter. Pretty decent. A 2/3 for 3 is not so bad in those colours anyway. If you can generate lots of energy, it's a great sink, especially in Limited. Next we have Nature's Way. So for 2 it's sorcery speed. You target creature you control gains vigilance and trample until the end of turn, and it deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Again, sorcery speed's not perfect, but for 2 costs you can you can kill off one of their creatures with something you've got and still swing in for actual combat damage later on. It's fantastic. One of my favourite cards from the set with Aether Hub here. So for a land, it enters the battlefield, gives you an energy counter. You can either tap it for a colourless or pay that energy to have any colour mana of your choice. Really like this, especially early on in the game when you need a little bit of mana fixing, or it's a constant mana fix if you can generate enough energy. Really do like that card. And for our rare, we've got Midnight Oil. So when it enters the battlefield with 7 hour counters on it, at the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card and remove 2 hour counters from Midnight Oil. Your maximum hand size is equal to the number of hour counters on Midnight Oil. Whenever you discard a card, you lose 1 life. Late game, this could actually be pretty decent. Early on, you might not really want to be playing this, but if you're only getting your top decking at one point in time, this is actually quite useful just to be able to get a second card. There were a few cards in contention this week for my first pick, but I have to go with Welding Sparks. 3 mana, instant speed, 3 damage, pretty good on its own, but it scales really well in the later part of the game if you end up having artifacts, in the form of either servos from Fabricate or vehicles, especially if you're trying to create that red-white vehicle archetype. Some nice first pick options here, not the best rare, but quite a flexible pick with choices of removal and Aether Hub being a strong contender. Hopefully next week we can open up some more exciting cards. Please let me know in the comments section below what your first pick would have been. Next week I'll have my top 10 cards from Commander 16 for Cube, so watch out for that. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.